All right, Ted, can you get out and give me a light down that bad boy? Opening morning. We're back in the boat in, ready to head downriver to our spot.
We got into the stand pretty quiet and clean. The river, as you all could see, is like 20 yards behind us, so me and Jake didn't have to walk very far. We slid up here in the dark. We've been sitting here comfortably now for about 20 minutes, and it's just now getting light enough to shoot. With all the sign that we found in here yesterday, you gotta think that something's gonna show up. There's a couple beds right here underneath of us, several trails coming down from that direction, which would be to our west. Ted took the boat on downriver to glass some fields and check some other spots. So if this doesn't pan out, we may pull this set, throw them in the boat, and move on down a little bit further for tonight. It feels good. We're hunting now. Finally. Sky's starting to get pretty dark over here to the west. We may have some rain coming. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this set down. We haven't seen anything this morning, and neither has Ted, so it's back to the drawing board, but that tends to happen on these trips like this. I mean, they're a grind. You just gotta keep going, and eventually we're gonna run into them. You that little savage.
Looks like our friend the skunk found our trash last night, or this morning when we were out hunting. I don't know exactly how we're gonna deal with this little critter, but we're gonna have to figure something out, because this is just not gonna work.
I think if we leave some food out for him, he won't tear into our stuff. We just gotta feed him a little bit, keep him happy.
Maybe.
As long as there's not a skunk baiting on Kentucky, I think we'll be good.
Just cruising along.
Hey, man.
I left my dang bow and stand, everything in the tree. I'll be straight up honest with y'all, because I know y'all are good guys.
What's your name?
That have good reports. Jordan Barnes. There's a temp warner I've been watching. I did observation set.
Oh, sweet.
But anyhow, I saw him, and he's working this point. I went in and got aggressive yesterday. I did observation set Friday. I thought, dang, I don't want to get right on the edge, because it ain't much. The line ain't far. Probably about 20 minutes after Friday evening, I saw him. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh crap, here's a little buck coming down the drain, and then all of a sudden he's sitting there. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, golly, man, I had him at 40. Now, y'all might be better shots than me. I'm not that good at shots.
I don't take it. That's too far.
I ain't that good at shots. I ain't trying to act like I'm like Mr. Levi Morgan.
Yeah, so you getting ready to go back in there after?
Yeah, my stand's already in there.
Okay.
If it's all right with y'all, I mean, common courtesy, I know y'all just pulled up. If y'all knew the work it took to get this sucker here, I had to drag this thing a freaking mile. I had to drag this thing down the road, through the woods, down the hill. Then I had to carry the battery a mile. I don't have any like jam up private spots to hunt, and I'm like, I know if I put the work in, you can kill big deer on public land if you put the work in.
Oh, absolutely.
Even in Kentucky.
Boy, he is a pretty buck, isn't he?
Yeah. He's bedding in the beans on this, like these drainages.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming out. The observation set, I saw him come out the beans. He popped up out the beans, and I noticed here the shaded side of the beans is where they feed at.
Yeah.
Like you walk up here in this field in the corner, there's not a lot of browse pressure. You go around the corner there, they're just stripped down.
That's all he's doing. He's walking right down that thing eating. Man, that thing is he's cool how he comes up like
tall.
that.
Honestly, that would be my biggest bow buck for sure.
Oh, that thing's big, man. That thing's big.
Y'all quit hyping me up, man. I'm gonna make a bad shot.
Nah, don't. Yeah, man. You go in there and get him, and you holler at us if you need to get him out, because that could be a bit of a chore.
Once those beans reach a certain height, that's where they'll go, is in them waterways and stuff like that.
Just sit in
and
the
they'll
low
lay down
area.
in the low area of those beans where there's a little bit of moisture. It's cool right there.
Yeah.
Well, go get after him, dude. It was good meeting you. We'll talk to you soon here. I'll text you.
Hey, let's get a pic.
Yeah, for sure.
This will be hilarious.
Well, this afternoon's been pretty crazy so far. I don't know what time it is. Probably 3:30 or so. We need to be getting into a tree stand pretty quick like. But Ted and I just met Jordan over there. Guy in the kayak. I could see it parked just across the river from us. We were getting ready to go into that spot. He pulled up, told us that he already had a stand back in there, and that he actually saw a big buck out there last night, so he was going back in to kill him. He showed me the footage of the deer. It's just a beautiful 10-pointer. And since he already had his stuff in there, we were like, yeah, go ahead. Super nice guy, so he was taking his camera with him tonight. Maybe he'll film him again tonight. That would be really sweet. So we're gonna go back in here. There's some decent sign right here next to the river. We're gonna scale up this bank and get into that thick stuff and try to get up high where we can see out into all that marshy, heavy cover, which it looks like from a map that there's some deer trails and stuff running through there. Maybe we'll be able to see a buck get up out of his bed or something tonight. That's at least the hope. There's some beans out here on the private next to it, so you never know. I mean, we might catch a buck moving out of that bedding cover into those beans.
I bought one of these $8 grapple hooks off Amazon before this trip for this reason. So we could throw it up on the bank and then pull stuff up. So no more sliding up and down the bank with all this gear to look like an idiot. That's how you do it right there.
Made it.
It's not easy, even with that grapple hook.
There's no trees in here open enough. We'd have to make a pile of noise. But I'm sure you were just filming that trail, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a bunch of deer leaving this bedding area, headed out to the fields to the west of us. And we can shoot them down through here. I mean, it's plenty short enough. The issue is there's no trees, but I think if we crawl back into this thick stuff, we can probably shoot over some of that. I mean, we might end up with getting a 15-yard shot on the ground at one. That's the thing with this thick cover like this that the deer don't use. There's a lot of it that's super thick. It creates a lot of funnels back in here. I mean, just show them that right there, Ted. There's deer bedded within 60 yards of us, I bet you. The last 20, 25 yards is always so important. Okay, so here's the plan. You can see behind me, right over here, there's a little opening. And about 10 yards away is that trail where we just saw all those fresh tracks. There's no trees in here good enough for a tree stand, but there's a little high spot right here. I want to put Ted right here where my boot is, and he's going to film everything. And I'm going to be right here in front of you. I got a little shooting range right there. If that deer starts coming to that trail, I've got him dead to rights at 14 yards. It's a killing setup. We're not going to be able to see much. It's going to be pretty cool. We just got to be so quiet because I bet they're really close. So I'm going to put the tree arm and base on here for you to help you be steady. And we're going to get settled in here. I wish we had the ghillie suits, but we're just going to have to make it work. It's a good looking spot though. Real good looking spot. Right behind me here, we've got thick bedding. Over here to the west, we got beans. And there's almost like a little slough behind us here that has the deer funneled down to this one spot. This area is so thick and nasty that any little pockets of open cover have deer trails just pounding in them. Between all the thick cover and all the water, you've got tons of funnels running throughout this property. It's just crawling through all the thick stuff to try to find it. See him in the beans, you can go to him. See him? Get on him. Before they walk out of your frame. You'll have to change your exposure out of those beans up here. Just use your iris quick and darken it up. Yeah. They're going down the trail. Right here. That's exactly what me and Jordan were talking about earlier down there on the river. Once those beans get up above waist high, the deer just bedded them. That's what that buck that he's on has done the last 2 nights. He's actually bedded in the beans and headed to the woods. That's exactly what those does just did. They were bedded in the beans and they came down the same trail. They got our ground scent out there, and it made them kind of nervous. And that one ran right here, I don't know, it's like 10 feet. She was gonna run me over, but she saw me standing here, so she veered off. Might see something else yet.
What'd you get? One in him or not?
Yep.
You see him?
Oh no.
Any deer at all?
Yeah, I saw that little 8-pointer. I saw the spike. And that was it. And they both fed right past me.
Oh, dadgum.
And I didn't see him. I didn't see the big one.
He probably ain't far.
I slipped out of there.
Deer were bedded in the beans over here.
Were they?
Didn't see anything come from the swamp. I'll just give you a buzz in the morning.
Yeah, that sounds good. Ted, rock on, man. Great job, bro. Awesome content.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Good luck to y'all.
Well, we made it back out of there, as you can tell. Jordan was waiting for us down here at the boat. We didn't end up seeing anything else tonight, just those 3 does that just about ran us over. But we felt good about the spot, you know. They came right down the trail that we were set up for, and they didn't even know we were there. Could have easily killed one. Had that have been a buck, we'd have been in business. So things are looking up. They're getting better. He didn't end up seeing that big buck tonight that he's been on. And now we're going to try to work together here these next few days. We're going to give him a call in the morning and check in with him. By working together, should just help optimize everybody's chances of getting a buck. But me and Ted got to get out of here. It's getting late. We got to go pick up Jake at McDonald's. He's been there for like 8.5 hours editing. I bet he's plumb sick of McChickens by now.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to need one.
Yeah, I need one too. Let's go, Ted.